Does it exist? This is a common question asked amongst most, but why is it so secret? Welcome to Secrets Within, a show about all things paranormal straight from the investigator's mouth. No fluffy scripting here, just raw paranormal talk about ghosts, Bigfoot, black-eyed children, equipment, and more. Host Reeni Rodriguez is no stranger to the paranormal and has been fascinated for years. One of her longtime passions is being a medium and further developing her skills. She's also a certified Reiki master and paranormal investigator. Now, here is your host of Secrets Within, Reeni Rodriguez.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Secrets Within. I'm Reeni, and I'm here with Ashley.
Hello.
Sorry,
hello. How are
I was
you?
muted. Welcome, everyone. I'm here with Ashley. Oh my gosh. I don't know why I was still muted. That was so weird. I might have muted myself.
Hey, it happens to the best of us.
Hi, Chris. So Ashley and I have a huge surprise, which that will come at like a little. So anyways, Ashley is a wonderful medium. So I was going to ask you, like, how did you get into this? Like, when did you know that you actually had abilities?
You know, even to this day, I still question it. It kind of happened when I was younger. I lost someone that was really close to me. And it was just a few days after that, I ended up mentioning to some of my family members that I had seen them. And I had talked to them, and they had kind of told me a message that I think they needed to hear. And then just growing up, I would have these dreams, or I would have like these random feelings, and I would always tell my dad about it. And he was super supportive, and he would always try to look into it and see if it was validated or if I was just crazy watching too many paranormal shows. But a lot of it was validated, which was nice. But I mean, even to this day, sometimes you're right, sometimes you're wrong. And every day is a battle for it. That's for sure.
And I know, and my favorite thing about you, and I will tell you this, is I love the fact that when I have a dream, I automatically go to you because you're like, well, we can do this in like 20 different ways. And I know that like sometimes you get a lot of messages in your dreams.
Yes.
I mean, is that how you usually get your messages?
Yes. I like with locations before we go to them. I have dreamt about most of the locations before we've gone, with people from the location, different events, things like that. And I like to go in not knowing anything, so that when I would bring these dreams to my teammates and stuff like that, then they would have to validate them. But yeah, a lot of it is just through my dreams. And then I try to go through and see, like, did I watch a movie that has something with that in it? And I try to kind of debunk everything before I really say, okay, maybe this is something reaching out.
So what is your favorite part of like paranormal? Honestly, like I know that you haven't been in this field for like very, very long.
No, I've only been in it for about a year, maybe a year and a half. Oh gosh, I guess honestly, I've met so many great people, including yourself. Like, I've met so many nice, amazing people. I've got to go to so many locations and meet the owners and kind of hear their story and why they want to have a haunted location. The interest of wanting to know why people have haunted items, because I was told that I'm not allowed to bring anything home, that I have to leave it. I have to leave it wherever I was.
We're gonna change that.
I know we've had that conversation about dolls.
We're definitely gonna change that.
I've had Jason Baker actually did bring me an item once, and my husband's like, if anything happens, that's got to go.
I love collecting haunted items anyways, and I always tell you, like, if it was okay with your husband, I would send you I would send you one. But I'm still waiting on that like whole I can send you one, like a message, like you could do it now.
See, I think if it was nice, as long as it's nice and comforting, he'd be okay. But if it's something that's like a little mischievous or something that's going to mess with him, he's a non-believer, so I don't know if he'd be okay with that.
I mean, I definitely wouldn't send something that was going to mess with him, or if you have kids or whatnot. I mean, obviously I have 2 kids, so I don't usually keep something. Well, let's. I can't say I don't have anything that. Okay, so I got a couple negatives, negative, vessels here. But I will tell you, they don't mess with the kids, anything like that. But I'm still waiting. If he gives you the okay, I will definitely send you one.
I might secretly just
I know
like, yeah.
I just sent Mike one.
Yes.
It's just a doll. Like, I don't know if you're scared of.
Mike actually has a lot of different items.
I remember
in
the
his
first
room.
one I got.
Your first doll?
He does. I just I just sent him one, and then he like sent me a message, and he's like, I love the energy, and I'm like, good. It's like one less doll that I have to deal with, because like I have so many.
How many?
And
dolls
I was
do you
just
have?
on eBay. I don't know why. Probably over 50.
Oh my gosh.
Over,
You have a pretty
over
good
50.
collection.
And I was just well, I was just on eBay looking at this well, and I'm like, oh, I have to have it. But I think it was like the fact that I just liked her eyes, but I don't really think she was on it. I just think it was just kind of one of those conversation pieces, like somebody comes to your house, like, what's wrong with your doll? Like, I just like their eyes.
But those are the best ones, though. I like when they kind of, well, I should say I like, and it kind of creeps me out when you move and it looks like they're watching you.
I mean, okay, here's the issue. Like, those cat balls that like light up or whatnot. And one day I was sleeping, and I swore it was like, I was like, oh, the ambulance is outside again. And technically it wasn't. It was my cat ball going on and off. And I'm like, should I bump that in some sort of way? So then I was like jumping up and down. Mind you, it is kind of late at night to see. And then I was like, nope, it's nothing. So I went back to sleep, and there it was again. I'm like, just stop. I'm turning this thing off. I mean, it was bad. I mean, realistically, but it is what it is. I always try to debunk it.
See, that stuff's so cool to me. Like, if I had a doll that was doing things like that, I think that would be so interesting to me. My husband might say other words, but I mean, I think it would be great. How is your new doll?
I mean, I don't know. I guess, like I said, if your husband said that it was okay, yeah. I mean, I guess you could just send me your address. I'll just do it. Chris, Chucky. No, nobody's getting my Chucky doll. Okay, and it's not haunted. It's a Halloween prop. Okay.
I don't think I'd want a haunted Chucky doll. That one might have to live outside.
Well, I'm still kind of looking for like that Chucky doll that like kind of like scoots around your house. Like, I really like Halloween, to do like those Halloween props. So like my Michael Myers and stuff like that, I really enjoy that. But they're not haunted. I just got them because they're cute in a weird way.
See,
Hi everyone in the chat. Like. Sorry, we're not getting to everybody.
Yeah, no, I think I'd be okay with the Halloween decorations, but if I had like an actual Chucky doll that was haunted, that might be one of the first things to terrify me.
Looking to launch your new masterpiece? Then try something new with Moonbow Publishing and Production. At Moonbow, we have a strong desire to serve authors in a powerful and meaningful way. After all, you poured your heart and soul into your writing, and we fully understand and respect that. Remember this: you will own the copyright to your work. You will have the final say on your work before being published. Even after all of that, we've saved the best for last. We won't take a percentage sold. Nope, not a penny. Excited about MoonbowPublications.com yet? We thought so. Take advantage of our company's services like book editing, formatting, and covers, publishing, and photography. Moonbow Publishing and Productions has everything you are looking for in a company. Remember, we will not keep any commissions. We are a boutique publishing company focusing on spiritual, health and wellness, and personal growth genres. Moonbow Publications and Productions, a new kind of publishing company.
Sorry, everyone. Welcome back. I guess I was lagging just a little bit. We do have a storm coming. It is actually snowing. Of course it is. It's Illinois. We're always getting snow.
You can keep it there. I don't want it.
It's too bad. Anyways, like I said at the beginning, Ashley and I have a huge announcement to make, and I'm going to let Ashley make that if you want to.
Yeah. Whenever
or
you're
we
ready,
can
just
make
give
it
me the
now
word.
and we can talk about it.
Okay. Yeah.
You go right ahead and we can talk about it. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So anyone that's listening, Reeni and I have decided that we are going to start a podcast called Realm of Darkness. And we are going to talk true crime. And it starts Thursdays.
Well, actually, we're going to go ahead and we kind of did a little thing. Yeah, we're going to say a couple weeks, okay? But it'll be on a Thursday night. But I know Ashley and I are we love true crime. I mean, we love true crime. I mean, it's not like I watch Snapped anymore or anything like that, but I could.
I could probably recite the shows that are on the ID channel.
Well, there's this one case, and I've done it on this show, the Kathy Tucker case, and for some apparent reason, I cannot let that case go, but I'll probably end up doing that. But I'm so weird.
No, it's okay. I am too.
I think everybody's got that one case that they can't let go, or just in the paranormal, as far as that goes, there's that one location, you're just going to keep going back because you're just going to keep going back.
Yes. I have that one location that I absolutely just love.
And I think everybody does. And I have one in particular that I love. And everybody is probably I've already heard it, the story 1,000 times. Because me and Mike talked about it last week. We were talking about how Katie, for the first time, actually taught me how to use dry shampoo.
Oh, that's my specialty.
I was
especially on investigations.
I didn't even know that I was doing it wrong. Okay, I didn't know that was a thing.
Oh,
I didn't know.
That's the first thing I pack. How are you doing it if it was wrong?
I mean, there's some places that just don't have showers and stuff like that. And I don't know. I'm weird. I don't know. And like I said, I will to this day, the next time I go someplace and don't have a shower, definitely thanks to Katie, I will always know how to use dry shampoo.
Well,
and you've met Katie, and she's such a sweetheart, though.
She is. She's amazing. You know, and I will say there are certain locations that I would get nervous, like being in the bathroom by myself. So just a few spritz, good to go.
Well, so this is the weird thing. I was watching this thing about this couple in their van life or whatever, and I can't remember the name of them. I know it wasn't the laundry potato case or anything like that. These people like still are together. And they were actually saying that you could get like those huge towels that you can use. And I thought that was pretty cool. And I was like, however you get those. So I don't see them at Walmart or anything. But if I do, I probably will end up picking one up just to. I've never heard that either. And it's a huge towel that you just wash your whole body with. Like you don't need, I don't know if it's like soap or whatever. I highly doubt it's soap, but it's supposed to help because like, I know like Matt Warner's like, just bring a lot of like wipes with you. And I'm like, do you know how many packs that I have to? That was a couple days. Like, I don't have that kind of time. You know what I mean? Like I came home and I was like, after 3 days, I'm like, oh, and that drive home, I was like, oh, this shower at 1:30 in the morning feels great after like 3 days.
Yeah, if it was 3 days, I might just have to suck it up and I don't know, to get a garden hose or something.
Like you never. Well, like there was like a sink, and you know, I guess like I'm like only 4'11" anyways, so I probably could have fit in the sink. But since everything was set up in the kitchen, I didn't, you know, somebody walking in, you know, and I think there was only like cold water.
Reenie's in the sink.
Like, yeah, it's not gonna work.
That would have to make a
nobody come in. She's taking a bubble bath.
But you have a little squirter for your hair and make it easy.
I don't know what I was thinking, like at all. I really don't, but and then I remember like we decided to get on the roof at Wilson Castle so we could see everything. And I'm afraid of heights. And I'm like, I got up there. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be sick. I'm going to be sick.
See, that's a location I've actually never been to, was Wilson Castle,
bad.
But I've heard good things about it.
That you what?
I've never been to Wilson Castle.
You haven't been there at all?
No.
You've never been there?
No. I've been like an hour from it, but I've never been to
it. I know there's some events coming up there. Haunted Nights is doing, I believe. So I think you can get tickets still.
That's my husband talking about the Niners.
I'm just saying.
You can ignore him. It's not like the last name gave it away, but you can ignore him.
I'm just saying. We're horrible people. So obviously, besides our new podcast that we decided that we were going to do, and we did kind of come up with that in like a very short amount of time. And I noticed with Ashley and I, like I think it was like in a span of like 45 minutes, we came up with it.
We did. Well, hey, you know what? When we get an idea, we just go with it. And I think it's going to be awesome. But I think you're right. I think it was about
I think so too.
30 minutes, 45 minutes. And we're like, we should do a podcast. Let's come up with a name. Let's pick a date. Let's do this.
like the ideas were like rolling, and like I love the fact that we were so excited about it. Like, and the text messages are like, yes, like you could feel the enthusiasm in those like text messages.
And to make it better, I think I was actually watching the ID channel when I'm like, we should do cold cases, we should do true crime.
I think what I was doing is, I don't know what court case I was I was following live at that point. I was like, she's got a great idea. And I do have a tendency to watch those court things live and not know anything that is going on or what the case was about. But I will tell you, I jumped in. I must have jumped in randomly because it was like the guy, like something about Wisconsin or like killed his parents, chopped him up or something on that order. And I don't know why I was like, the girlfriend's in on it. The girlfriend's in on it. And it started making me mad because of her response. Like I wanted just to throw my phone at that point, but I was like, I'm not going to do that because I'm not going to buy a new phone at this point. But I guess that was just irritating me. And then when we were talking about it, I'm like, yeah, this is a good idea because now I want to cover this case.
Well, I feel like a crazy person.
You're watching me on DJ.
I was. And I feel crazy because I'll sit there and I'll watch the show and I'm like, God, you're so stupid. If you would have done this, you could have got away with it. What were you thinking? And then my husband's like questioning my sanity at the end of the show.
It's like sometimes I think we have way too much time on our hands and we're sitting there like, just can't do this. I just can't do this. It doesn't make any sense. Like, I'm sorry, but like this guy or this girlfriend getting all this ice, I'm like, how much ice are you going to use? But that doesn't start making sense to me. And then like when she stopped, I'm like, you're guilty. I can feel it in my bones. You're guilty. You helped. And and then I think to myself, like, if I was on that jury, that would just irritate me. I don't know why. I would just be like, this case is closed. Guilty all across the board. I don't know. But like, I think it's kind of like one of those things, like we're sitting there judging it.
See, I don't know if I could be on a jury. I think I get too invested. And then I'm like, oh, did they not? I don't know if I could do with a jury. I'd be that person at the end where they're like, you have to make a decision. I'm like, I don't know.
We're like the best detectives.
We just arrest everybody and then be like, okay, now let's try to figure out who actually did this.
And then, but here's the thing, like, it's pretty self-explanatory. You know what I mean? Like, some of it is pretty self-explanatory and I cannot figure out how they cannot figure it out. But I'm sitting there watching it and I can figure it out. It's pretty easy.
Yeah, I guess what if they show like the
maybe we
are
things.
we see the conversations and things that they don't see.
Well, those interrogations sometimes sit and watch those and I'm like, I don't know. What were they thinking? What does the dog have to do with this?
I wish like how they have
like I don't understand it.
Like, you know how they have court cam? They should have that for interrogation rooms because that would be so interesting.
I wonder how we could get on one of those. End up like being detectives.
We could like volunteer, do ride-alongs, see what we could figure out.
They wouldn't hire us. They're like, there's two know-it-alls.
They'd be like, you guys just go make us coffee.
Like, honestly, like, I think you have... Yeah.
We can make the Starbucks run.
Starbucks run. Like, you guys are all getting black coffee because I'm not going to take your orders down. But Starbucks runs. We're still talking about Starbucks. Speaking of that, Mike sent me like gift cards to Starbucks and I'm like, oh, thanks. And then I was talking to somebody who lived in Ohio and they're like, there's a Starbucks on every corner. I'm like, really?
There really is.
I had to go to Dunkin' Donuts so many times. I'm like, this is gross.
Oh, yeah.
do it.
Oh, yeah. We have a lot of Starbucks. I'm in Ohio, and we have a ton of Starbucks, and we have a ton of Dunkin'. So whatever you want.
I cannot do Dunkin' Donuts. Like, I just can't. You know what I mean? I can't do it.
Oh, I think it's good.
Sorry, my little one still seems to be up. It's been one of those days. I don't know. You know how kids are. But I actually think that he's what's the word I'm looking for?
It's Friday
I think
night.
he's having
partying.
he's not sleeping real well. No, he's like randomly getting up in the middle of the night anyways. So I wonder if there's something going on, you know, because Torgan was like that before, like she came into her abilities. Which was kind of cool that you know, like we were talking about animal communication. Which I cannot do. I cannot, you know, I can't do that. But Torgan can. And that was actually cool to see because it's been a while since she's actually got to do that. Which I thought was pretty cool. And I really do want to thank you for giving her that opportunity.
No, I want to thank her.
I know when we first met.
Yeah, we were actually sitting at a dinner. It was my husband's birthday, like dinner, and it just started a conversation. My friend said that she had lost her dog about a year or two ago, and she was upset. And she told me that she was going to get on TikTok and pay someone to do a reading. And I was like, you know what? Hold on. Let me make a phone call real quick. And that's when I got a hold of you. And at the end of it, she was so happy. She was excited. And she said that Torgan literally answered every question, every doubt that she had. Torgan made her feel better. So she left that night really excited. She even took screenshots and saved them. So it was really sweet.
Yeah, that's like one thing I can't do, and I've always wanted to do that, but it's not something that I can do, and I know it's not something you maybe you can. I mean I don't know.
No, my own dog
because I know that
to me.
From what I'm understanding, I know you're still kind of learning a lot too, and I know like the first time I met you, I don't want to say that I scared you, but after I gave you that reading, you're like, nope, we're going to be friends. So now I love the fact that like sometimes I'm like, I need you to do this for me. You're like, I need you to do that. And I love that because like, I still think that like everybody is still learning. And there's, things that you could do that I can't do. I can do that you can't do. And obviously she seems to be able to do it all, which I think is, totally amazing. But I mean, I think that's how, everybody works differently. And like I said, I know that you do dream a lot. And usually when I have a weird dream, I'm always like, Ashley, I really need your help. I really need your help. Because that's not something that I'm good at, like at all. And I just remember it. You're always like, I don't know. Let me think on this. Because I'm like, this person popped into my head. And you're like, no, that's not close.
I try to look at like a logical. Yeah, I try to look at the logical side of it first, and then try to see like, okay, maybe we're misinterpreting the dream wrong, or maybe they're trying to send us something and this is the only way that they can get it across. So that's what I try to do. But yeah, I like being able to message you at 8:00 in the morning and bounce ideas off of you.
But that's the thing, like, because I'm like obviously an hour behind you and I'm up early anyways. You'll send me a message. You're like, are you up? Yeah, since 6:00. 6:00. I'm up. I know.
I'm always nervous. I'm like, it's only 8:00 here. She's probably still sleeping. But I will have to say,
no.
The last conversation we had when you sent me a picture of your doll, I've never had a smell hit me so hard. And I was sitting there, I was reading your message. I'm like, what is that smell? And I thought there was like a candle lit or something. That's why I'm like, I have to ask Reeni what this smell is. And it's nice to know it was your doll.
Well, okay, it's not that I couldn't read the doll or whatever, and I knew the backstory to the doll, but I'm always like really weird about that, because I'm like, and what I'm getting, is it is somebody else getting that? Because I feel like when you get something like that, like after somebody's worked with it, they're giving you, okay, this is what's going on. Okay, for an example, I have a doll that is like supposedly was giving somebody bad dreams and was asking for blood and yada yada yada. Is the doll negative? The doll is negative, but it's never asked me for blood. It's not done any of that. So the experiences that they've had is definitely different than the experiences that I've had with the doll.
Do you think that varies?
But usually I
on
always
the
like to
person?
double check. That what?
Do you think that the doll or the energy of the doll responds to just the person it's around? Maybe it feeds off of, like, the doll is going to act different with you than it does somebody else because it reads your energy and responds to it differently.
I think so. We have Brian here that he's curious about something. If ghosts exist at all. Okay, here we go. If ghosts exist all the time, why is the investigation always at nights? You want to answer that one, Ashley? I know you know this person personally.
I do. He asked me that while he was making dinner. Ghosts do exist all the time. I think that my answer is probably not going to be the best, but I think it's the stigma of night. I think when you take away the light and the sun, when you're sitting in the dark, it's hard for you to see. So your senses are more heightened. At least I like to be that way. I like to sit in a dark room, close my eyes, and just see what I can feel, what I can hear. So I think in the dark, your senses are heightened. It's the stigma of investigating. It makes it creepier no matter what. Being in a weird location, not really knowing your way around. And let's be real, if you're putting it on TV, nobody wants to see you walking around a building in the day. It's just not as creepy.
Honestly, it doesn't matter. I don't think at any time of the night, like during the day, at night. I mean, I get it. Some people will do it during the day because they'll come out at any given point. Let's just be honest, okay? Mm-hmm. My dolls will, during the day could be active, where sometimes they're just active at night because, again, you're right. Like, okay, well, you just answered his own question, or you know what I mean. So now I don't have to answer it. So now, during your dinner conversation, he's got it.
I mean, I do. I've tried to tell them they do come out during the day, and they don't have that sense of day and night. But I think just in general, like for us, with the heightened senses and the like I said, the stigma of it all. If you're looking down a hallway and it's the bright sun shining, it's beautiful. No one's gonna see shadows, and I don't know. Got to give the people what they want, so keep it at night.
Well, and I will tell you this, like I know, like sometimes, and this is the weird thing. I could be gone for like a couple days, and then I come back home, and I don't care what anybody says. Like I feel like my dolls are like upset with me, and that's when I see like the shadows, and I'm like, okay, now they're just screwing with me. And I know that sounds odd. It doesn't matter if it's during the day or at night. I mean, if they want to show themselves, they're going to show themselves regardless.
Yeah, I was at a location, and I think it was maybe 7 or 8 in the morning, and you could hear a full-on conversation in a room that there was nobody there. So it definitely happens during the day as well.
I will say that, like, if like all the kids are at school, which is they haven't been at school school all week, unfortunately. But usually when they're all at school and just me, like you can hear like the giggling. And I think it's just probably because like the kids have so much background noise around here that you can't concentrate on really what's going on. So I do believe that like I do have those haunted dolls where they are giggling and they are making noise and they are having conversations with each other. And I know a lot of people will say, okay, now you're just crazy. I'm not, because I know what I've heard. And even when I've been at a location, doesn't matter during the day, I've still experienced things. It wasn't just at nights. I mean, of course you're going to, you're going to experience things at night and you're going to see things because it just is what it is. But if you're paying attention during the day, you're still going to be able to see it and see, hear, all that good stuff. I mean, it is a good question.
Well, and at night too, that's a lot of the time when people are starting to wind down from their day. They're not cleaning, watching TV. They're starting to kind of settle down. And especially when you're laying in bed, I know a lot of people say that they have experiences like in that kind of medium of where they're about to fall asleep, but not quite. And it's because your guard's down, you're comfortable, you're relaxed, you're not focused on your phone or TV or whatever. And that's when they're like, hey, I'm going to get your attention.
Right. And somebody did say the witching hour. I mean, which is true. Well, I'll be the first one to admit I've been on an investigation and I don't think I made it until 3. I was really tired because we were like nonstop. Like even if it was during the day, we were still doing stuff during the day and we were still doing stuff. And by 2:00, I was out cold. I mean, I will be the first one to admit that. And I will say this. There was a team that we were working with and they filmed all night. And to this day, they still make fun of me at the way that I put my air mattress down because I like just flopped on it just to let the air out. And I was like, at that point, I was like, I don't even think we aired it up all the way. But at that point, I was still so tired. Because, I was only running on a couple hours of sleep because we had to get up, kind of get moving. And we were back at it again. There was so much stuff to cover that whether we were doing it during the day, whether we were doing it at night, and then it was just a lot. So, I mean, it was like run. And like I said, when I got home, I think I slept for a couple days. Like they always say, like you had your paranormal hangover. And that's kind of how I felt, honestly. And I know a lot of people experience that too, when they've been up all night because you kind of are sleep deprived.
You are. I mean, you go into these locations. Yeah. And you're, I don't think people assume that you just start at night, but you do. You get there early, you're setting up equipment, you're trying to make a game plan, try to figure out if you're doing experiments or not. And then you're investigating till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, go to sleep and you're up at 8. And it's like, unless you're just pounding coffee, you're exhausted. And then if you're doing it for more, a couple of days in a row, I've come home just completely beat, just sat in the chair and was like, I need a break.
Right. Because like I said, time I got home, it was like, I was gone for 3 days. I got home at like 1:30 in the morning from Ohio. And then on top of it, I got in the shower at like, I was like, you're still kind of on that high. Anyways, if you think about it, when you get home, you're still on that high and your body is kind of like, I'm supposed to be up. I'm supposed to be doing this. But then as the day goes on, you're like, I can't do this anymore. I'm out cold. And I think I did. I slept like the whole day. And the next day I was a little crabby, but I was like, oh man, I have to be up, but I'll take a nap, But I mean, it is a lot of work. And a lot of people are like, oh, well, it's just a hobby. Well, and I understand that, but and I understand because everybody's like, well, they have to have full-time jobs. Let's just be honest. We all have to have full-time jobs and we can only do it on the weekend. And then we have to take time off of work if we have to leave and so on and so forth. I mean, that becomes a lot too. So it's just, you know what I mean, I guess.
Yeah, it's a lot because I know there's been times where I've worked all day, came home, got my stuff and left. And then you're investigating all weekend. And then you get home Sunday late you're trying to unpack and settle down, and then you got to be up early for work the next morning. It's, I mean, I wish I could do it as a full-time job, but unfortunately that's not reality. But you're right. We do, you know, we have to work, and then investigating it's fun, but it's a lot of work and it's hard sometimes.
And it really is. And like I said, it is fun. Okay. I mean, because we're all trying to, you know, get answers, and, you know, those answers that we are looking for, you know, and that's a big thing. But, you know, I think we're missing one. Okay. So anyways, we'll go back and we'll talk about our true crime podcast again, unless anybody else has any questions for us. But like I said, I was going to have Ashley read a couple people on here, but I decided nobody asked. So
well, and I've been watching, and most of them are my family, so that'd be cheating.
I know. I was looking at that too, and I'm like, I know this person. I know this person. I know this person. It is cheating. It is cheating.
I'm like, well, that's my husband. That's my dad. I'm like, that's my uncle. Like, so I can't read them. I know them.
Can't do it. You can't do it. You can't do it. But you know, like I said, I mean, like definitely the true crime, you know, podcasts that we're going to do and so on and so forth. I mean, definitely, I mean, obviously we're going to throw some readings in there, just because that's what we do.
Yes. Well, and the true crimes that have paranormal tied to them.
What was that?
I said, well, and there's also a couple cases for the true crime that have paranormal tied to it as well that I think would be really interesting for us to cover.
Oh yeah, I mean, and most definitely. I know that, what was it? I was talking to somebody, and I know this sounds really crappy to say, but I don't remember how it was worded, to be quite honest, so don't, you know, take it for what it is. But I saw that there was more crime in Wisconsin, like more serial killers in Wisconsin. It was my mother-in-law I was talking to her about it. No, I think she was a little upset about it.
I have to agree with you. I watch some of these court cases and cops and body cam, and half of them are in like Northeast Ohio, and I'm like, God, people, get it together. That's where I'm from. I'm like, we live with a bunch of freaking crazies.
So,
no offense.
And then
to anybody.
What did she say to me? She said to me, she's like, there's a lot of crime in Illinois. I'm like, I'm not disputing that. But not as bad as Wisconsin. I shouldn't be laughing so hard about it, but it's true. There's like so much of it. Like, it's like all the serial killers are like coming out of Wisconsin. I'm like, what is going on? Like, I am not moving to Wisconsin. It's just not going to happen.
You know, I would actually be really interested to see like the percentage of states that produce psycho killers.
Probably Wisconsin.
You would always assume it'd be a bigger
state. No offense
to
anybody. Wisconsin's pretty big. Like I said, like I was like looking at it, and it's like the guy that like just got in trouble for like killing his parents and chopping him up. What do you know? Wisconsin. I'm like, are you kidding me? Wisconsin? Like again?
Now when I watch when I watch my shows, I'm gonna look for Wisconsin.
Or Florida. There's another one. Florida.
Really?
Well, like just don't. Yeah, like I feel like a lot of crime happens in Florida.
There's a lot of alligators.
Honestly, like Wisconsin and Florida.
You can get rid of a body that way.
Okay. But from what I'm understanding, those don't I don't know if they technically eat. This sounds so bad. If they even actually eat like a whole person, like I thought that you could feed somebody to the pigs and they would eat it all, like bones and all.
No, I heard.
Okay, now you know.
Okay, I did hear about the pigs, but I heard you had to take the teeth out.
Okay, and that says a lot of crime also happens at night, like paranormal investigations think there might be connection. Well, let's think about this, okay? I mean, honestly, you're not going to do a whole bunch of crime in broad daylight because there's like more people. Well, I don't know. There's a lot of people out at night too. I guess depends on the day.
It's harder to disguise yourself.
I mean,
before COVID, it was harder to disguise yourself during the day.
So, I mean, there could be a connection. Yeah, it is better to hide. I mean, you would think that at night it would be a lot easier. I hate to say this because we're on the show. Yeah, you can get exactly what Chris said. You can get away with a lot more wearing black at night. I mean, think about it. You could wear one of those head things, all black shoes. You could wear shoes that are bigger than what technically your shoes size is. You could tell we've been watching way too much TV.
And at night, the cameras and stuff, like on the poles, they can't read the license plate as well. The images are distorted more at night. Okay, so really, we're probably going to have people showing up at our house.
Yeah, we're going to have to.
Yeah, we're going to have like cops showing up at our house and be like, what have the two of you done in the past?
Nothing at all. We just... I mean, but like I've watched a lot of crime where like, they're like, I fed them to the pigs. I'm like, you what? Mm-hmm. You what? And then it dawned on me and I'm like, pigs will eat anything. That's why like I live at like in like a small town and like they all have like farmlands and there is a pig farm and I've gone past it and I'm like, I'm going to take a different way just to be on the safe side. Like you know what I mean? And I know that sounds crappy to say. Well, it was broad daylight, so I should have been okay, but you just never know.
I mean, not to offend anybody.
What you gonna do?
Not to be offensive, but I mean, I live like around the same region as Jeffrey Dahmer, so.
Okay. You know what?
I said no offense to anybody.
But I mean, here we are, like discussing our crimes, like that we did not commit, but and giving people like, no, don't take our advice for it at all. But you can find all this stuff on real TV.
Yeah, just watch the.
But you're gonna get caught one way or another. You know, I've been, I like killer women, but I just don't see. You don't see that the show like called like, you know, killer men. I mean, they have killer children on there, you know, which I'm not going to lie. That fascinates me. What would make a child want to kill another human being? You know, what's their ticking time bomb? Like, you know, what's going on in there?
I think, but if you look though, some of them, not all of them, because some of them come from normal families, but some of them are abused. And I think that can just make someone snap. Or bullied or any of that.
I mean, I understand that, but I mean, I don't know. Like I said, some kids can come from like a really good family and they're still out killing people. Like, I don't know. Like, okay, so there's this Lifetime movie that's called Killer Among Friends. Go ahead.
I'll have to watch that. I don't know. I think that it's something. I think it's something that you're just, I hate to say it, but I think you're just born with. I mean, I think it's a mental disorder of some sort. They're born with it, and I don't necessarily think they can all help it. I mean, I'm sure this is probably gonna make me sound like a bad person, but every single person's like, God, I just want to kill you. You know, like people have had random thoughts like that, but we have the ability to be like, it's probably not the best idea to go through with that. But some people just don't have that. And then I think sometimes certain mental disorders and things like that can just push people right over the edge.
I mean, you would think that these kids, though, would have like some kind of, I don't know, some kind of signs or something like that. You know what I mean? To say like, hey, there's something going on, and like maybe the parents would, you know, but like, okay, but let's look at girls for an example. We are a little catty with one another. Let's just be honest.
Mm-hmm.
It's the truth. And like, girls are the worst, okay? And they fight over the stupidest things, men and whatever, okay? And these teenage girls, like the show, The Killer Among Friends on that Lifetime movie, it is based on a true story. And I could never imagine like wanting to kill my best friend just because like I was jealous of her. Like, just find a new best friend. Like, stop talking. Like, that's how, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just thought it was really weird. And at the end of the day, you're going to get caught anyways because you couldn't keep your mouth shut. Yeah. And, you know, like I said, there's a lot of cases out there, but I don't know. I still can't get over that comment. Bad girls, what you gonna do?
You would love the show. There's a, I think it might be on ID, but there's a show called Signs of a Psychopath, and it follows children. And like some of them are actual well-known serial killers, but it shows them when they're little. And if they showed any signs that people were like, oh yeah, they're probably going to kill people when they're older. And it follows them through their life. And kind of what that breaking point was for them. You probably would actually really like that.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm going to have to definitely look into that. So we only have like a couple minutes left here because I know time difference. I didn't want Ashley sitting on this podcast too long because we kind of went into a little bit of what we are going to be doing here soon. So everybody keep watching out. It'll be on Thursday nights. It'll be us talking about basically what we were just talking about now, but now actually we'll have a topic. But we were really excited about sharing it with you guys. And we definitely look forward to all of that. And, you know, if that's that. So again, I will see everybody next week. And again, watch out for our new podcast. Ashley, you want to tell them what the name of it is again? Because I'm not going to look it up because I forget everything.
It's called A Realm of Darkness. And then when we're doing that, we'll actually have we'll have details of cases. You know, we can go over. We'll actually focus on a case. So if there's anything you guys want to see, let us know. Maybe we can talk about some of the cases you guys are interested in.
Or Wisconsin cases, which that a lot of that comes from. So I had to throw that in there.
We could start with a Wisconsin case.
Well, thank you. Oh my gosh. You guys all have a great night. Thank you all. And thank you, Ashley, for coming on. I enjoyed it.
Yes. Thanks for having me.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for coming.